Hello, hope you're having a great day and it is about to get better. So if you are a CAT aspirant, this video will tell you 4 steps which you can follow to become a master in any topic in CAT or not. The first step is about what you should not do. Alright then, first of all, it's fairly simple to understand that to do well at an exam such as CAT, you need to become really good at some topics at least. Now we'll take a two-way approach to understand what you should do and should avoid in trying to master a topic. So first, we'll do the bottoms-up approach, and at the end, we'll take a top-down approach as well to sort of verify whether our understanding is correct or not. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। तो 4 steps जो आपको follow करने हैं, उसमें से first step है pre-class work. तो whether you are at a coaching or you are doing your preparation by yourself, this is essentially what do you do, how much time do you spend even before doing something that is equivalent of a class in that topic. We'll call this step 1 pre-class work. तो हर topic में, मान लीजिए for example it is percentages, तो हर topic में आपको क्या करना है? सबसे पहले आपको pre-class 1 से 1.5 घंटे का वक्त उस पे लगाना है. You have to go through the basics, the basic theory, the basic formulae, because all this stuff you've done somewhere in the past. It will help you refresh that. You should also do some solved examples. So what happens as a result is that when you go to your class, there are 2 benefits. One, आपको obviously आपने पहले से कुछ किया हुआ है तो आपको क्लास में बेहतर समझ में आएगा. दूसरी जो बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ है जो होगी as a result of this pre-class work is कि आप क्लास में साथ के साथ डाउट्स पूछते चले जाएंगे. So that's very helpful because otherwise what happens is in a class you just sit down, you absorb what is being taught, and it is only once you go back and start attempting questions do you have doubts. Those doubts you will probably come back much later to clarify them, and that creates a time lag, that is almost continuous in your CAT preparation. Because every day is precious, every week is precious, every single hour is precious. It makes sense to go into any session at your CAT coaching. For example, at MBA Guru, we strongly suggest that you do some pre-class work before coming to the class. So that 1 to 1.5 hours will help you extract much more out of the second step, which we'll take up now. The second step is in-class preparation. So this is typically at a coaching, we're talking about when a topic is covered in your CAT coaching by an expert, by a faculty, by a mentor of that particular skill. So for example, continuing the example of percentages, तो क्लास में आपको कोई एक्सपर्ट आके पहले पढ़ाते हैं percentages का और फिर कुछ exercises कराते हैं. At MBA Guru, we have 3-hour sessions and there's a reason for that. But typically CAT coachings have 2-hour sessions devoted to every topic. Now in those 2 to 3 hours, depending upon where you are taking your preparation from, 2 things happen. One, as I said earlier, the topic is covered by an expert, so that helps you develop a better understanding, clarify your doubts as well. Secondly, when you do questions within a class, ideally it will serve your purpose the best if you can do 2 levels of questions. अगर आप पहले easy level of questions करते हैं तो एक, उससे आपको थोड़ा confidence मिलता है, दूसरा आपको पता चलता है कि कितनी पकड़ उस टॉपिक पे आपकी बनी है. When you attempt difficult questions, so at MBA Guru for example, we have a second level of question set in every class, which is a time test. इसके 2 advantages होते हैं. पहली चीज, difficult questions में से कुछ actual past CAT, ZAT and MAT etc. के questions भी होते हैं. जब आप क्लास में ही वो questions करते हैं तो पहली बार आपको करके ये हौसला मिलता है, okay, this is something I can do. Even if you do 2, 3 out of 5, 6 questions, out of total 20, if there are 5, 6, 7 questions from actual previous exams, and if you are able to get even a few of them correct, that gives you a lot of confidence going ahead. कि हाँ, अगर मैं अभी कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ, तो obviously after a lot more preparation, I am well equipped to do it. This feeling, this self-belief helps a lot in the later stages of your preparation. Secondly, what a time test in difficult questions allows you to do is to figure out a better question selection. Question selection एक habit है जिसे आप अपनी CAT की तैयारी में जितनी जल्दी शामिल कर लेंगे, बाद में later stages में जब आप testing पे जाएंगे, जब आप मॉक कैट्स करेंगे, एयर कैट्स करेंगे, एम कैट्स करेंगे, जो भी कैट की टेस्ट सीरीज आप लेंगे, तो वो आपको बहुत फायदा होगा, क्योंकि वहां पे समय बचाने का एक सबसे अहम तरीका, स्ट्रैटेजी, रणनीति जो होती है वो यही होती है कि आपकी क्वेश्चन सिलेक्शन बहुत अच्छी हो। तो टॉपिक दर टॉपिक अगर आप अपनी क्वेश्चन सिलेक्शन इंप्रूव करते जाते हैं तो बाद में भी आपकी जजमेंट बहुत बेहतर रहती है। दिस इज अबाउट द सेकेंड स्टेप, 2 to 3 hours in a classroom with an expert. Now let's move on to step number 3. Step number 3 है post class, कि हर सेशन के बाद आपको क्या करना है। Now again, at MBA Guru we have a very clear adaptive homework framework in which every student knows after the class कि उसको जाके क्या करना है। Ideally जो आपने क्लास में difficult level of questions किए हैं उनसे आपको अंदाजा हो जाना चाहिए कि उस टॉपिक में आप कहाँ स्टैंड करते हैं। आप बहुत अच्छे हैं, ठीक हैं, या आपको बहुत मेहनत करने की जरूरत है। If you're not really good at that topic, then it makes sense to devote little more time to that topic, to do easier level of questions, once you go back to gain confidence and then try the tougher questions. If you're already good at the end of the class, at the end of the step 2, you don't need to do the easy level questions. It's a waste of time. You are better off devoting that time to something else in some other area or skill or section. आपको जाके केवल टफ क्वेश्चंस पे और प्रैक्टिस करके एक फाइनल अपना लेवल गेज करना चाहिए कि दिस इज वेयर आई एम एट द एंड ऑफ माय प्री क्लास वर्क, माय क्लास वर्क एंड माय पोस्ट क्लास वर्क। अब तक आपने लगभग 5 से 6 घंटे इस टॉपिक पे लगा दिए हैं। स्टेप नंबर 4 है स्टॉप। इफ यू ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टेड 5, 6, 7 hours at most in a topic, it makes sense to just stop there and just ensure that you know where you are after that 6-7 hours of effort. This understanding will help you later on, again in terms of knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, what are the kind of questions you should pick up, what are the kind of questions you should avoid during a test. अब आप ये भी बोल सकते हैं कि सर अगर अभी तक मेरे उस टॉपिक पे पकड़ मजबूत नहीं हुई है, if I'm not really good at that topic even now, should I not be investing more time? My answer to that is no. There are a couple of reasons for that. One, you can always come back to a topic. Assuming, for example, percentages, something we were talking about earlier, is probably the third, fourth topic in your quantitative ability. It makes sense to invest an X number of hours in a topic and move on and cover the entire syllabus and know at the end of it where do you stand in every topic, rather than just keep on devoting more and more time to a specific topic that you may feel is a weakness for you. Because it is at the end of the syllabus, it is at the end of having covered all the topics, having done this basic work of 6-7 hours in every topic, that you can decide, okay, in relative terms, ये topics मेरी strength है, ये topics मेरे काफी कमजोर है। तो अब मुझे जब मैं revision कर रहा हूँ, when I'm trying to find, okay, what are the next steps to take, I should devote more time to the areas that I turned out to be weaker in. The other important part is you could do extremely well at CAT despite having a few weak topics in any area. So there is simply no point in trying to become an expert in each and every topic. It just doesn't make sense. It is simply not required. So instead of leaving less time at the end to cover the syllabus for testing in other areas, and putting more time upfront in a topic is not a smart way of going about it. Now let's test whether what we've just calculated, whether it makes sense or not. Let's test it back from a top-down approach as well. जैसा कि मैं अक्सर बोलता हूँ कि CAT की तैयारी में लगभग give and take a few hundred, and it depends on the time you're starting at, it depends upon your individual strengths and weaknesses, but broadly 1000 hours suffices. Now when you look at 1000 hours, a very rough breakup of this would be roughly 500 to 600 hours in your topic level preparation, or in covering the syllabus, in ensuring that you have a basic minimum exposure to each and every topic. Then comes the next stage, which is testing. On a rough basis, you would require about 150 to 200 hours there. So even if you write about 20 mocks, that's around 40 hours. The analysis of each and every mock should be roughly 3 times the actual duration of the mock. Plus, in areas and sections where you are facing little issues, you might need to practice more sectional tests as well. So the testing part roughly would be 150 to 200 hours. अब बचे लगभग 150 से 200 घंटे, और ये किस काम आएंगे? यही नंबर ऑफ आवर्स हैं जो आप यूज करेंगे अपने गैप्स को मिटाने में, रिवीजन करने में. सो इफ एट द एंड ऑफ let's say your quantitative ability syllabus, these are the 5 topics I was finally also not great in, you will spend a little more time in those areas to try and see if maybe 1 or 2 of them can turn into relative strengths for you. This 1000 hours also gives us a broad indication that the amount of time we can spend on covering the syllabus, on covering each topic, on before in the pre-testing phase and the pre-revision phase is roughly about 500 to 600 hours. And given that CAT and all the major non-CAT exams have roughly 70 to 80 topics in total across the 3 sections that you need to cover, need to become, need to invest adequate amount of time, and that comes to around, again, with about 7 to 8 hours, that comes to about 500-550 hours roughly. So essentially from both approaches, what we can see is 7 to 8 hours on a topic, pre-class, in-class and post-class is the ideal time to put in. Of course, it could be a couple of hours less in topics that you're already really good at or good at after a class, and it could be a little more in areas that you find yourself lacking in at the end of step 2, which is the class. So I hope this video gave you an idea of how to invest your time in every topic and ensure that you hit a certain level, or at the very least know where you are at the end of these 4 steps. If you think you found some value and you learned something out of it, let me know by clicking the like button. That's the only way we get to know whether it is helpful for you or not. That's it for now. See you soon in another video. Bye bye.